Hi, I'm Jean Pomeroy with Realty One Group, and I want to take just a minute to talk to you about the market. I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste mine, so I'm going to try to keep it quick, but I promise if you can stay with me for just a moment, you'll learn a lot about the real estate in the Valley at this time. So it's a crazy seller's market. Everybody's known that for a while, but did you know it's been a seller's market in the Valley since 2015? I don't think people realize that that's the case. It wasn't bananas like it is now, but there was still a shortage of supply of inventory. And that's the problem we have now. This is a real shortage. This is not something that happened in 2004 and 5, where there really wasn't a supply of inventory. It was speculators and bad loans that created a frenzy, that created a bubble that wasn't real. And I can prove it. Because if you look back at the numbers, rental prices did not go up. Rentals stayed stagnant because there wasn't a housing shortage. There were rentals to be found. Here, rental prices have increased dramatically, just as the sales prices have increased. And that shows a real housing shortage. That's what's going on here, folks, and it's not going to end anytime soon. How do I know that? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I will tell you that with lumber prices skyrocketing, everything being hard to get, from glass to workers, try to remodel your house right now. See how long it takes you to get somebody, and even if you get them, how long does it take them to get the supplies? It's the same thing with building a house. They cannot keep up with supply with the amount of people that are coming in. Now, do we have an influx of Californians ruining our housing market? Well, believe what you want, but if you're gonna believe me, the answer is no. We have people coming from all over, and we always have people coming from all over, including California. There isn't a mass exodus right now. We get a certain percentage, which is kind of a low percentage of people that come in from out of state, but it's enough of a percentage that our population just keeps growing. I moved to the Valley in 1983. It was a very different place back then, and I will tell you that there's never been a year where we didn't have extreme population growth since then. That's not going to change. However, part of the reason people were coming here is because we were so affordable. We're not quite as affordable anymore. This is a shift in the market, my friends. This is a shift from being a really affordable place to live to kind of getting in line with cities that are of the population size that we have. Now, the other thing I want to address is the idea of we've got a little bit of a softening. Oh, I hear the word softening. Oh, that drives me crazy. Guys, you can't explain the market as a whole when you're talking about a change, because it's summer. And guess what? In the summer, we always have a little dip. Why? January, but especially February, March, and April are dominated by closings from winter visitors. Our luxury home market is greatly affected by that, and that affects all of the numbers when you look at them all together. When the winter visitors go away, the majority of the people that buy homes in the summer are locals. It also is some people coming in from out of state because they're moving while the kids are out of school. But typically we have a little bit of a slump because there aren't as many, because we don't have the influx of the winter visitors, which is a big deal for us here in the Valley. This year is different. And the only reason it's different is that some people are buyers that have been having a hard time finding a house because they're not working with the right agent. And I'm not quiet about this. There's a lot of rogue agents out there. There are a ton of agents that don't know what they're doing practicing real estate. It's just the way it is. It's that way in a lot of professions, I'm sure. So they go months and months and months trying to get a house, putting in offers. The poor buyers are exhausted. And guess what? Nobody's gone anywhere for a couple of years. So this year everybody went, woohoo, going on vacation. So we lost the winter visitors, and we lost a lot of the locals because they just decided we're going to stop looking at houses for a month or two, and once the kids are back in school, then we'll start up again. That's not a softening, my friends. That's just, we had a little dip this year because of the fact that it was a little bit bigger because people were out of town. Guess what? School started already for many places, or it's starting very shortly, and that is going to go right back up. It depends on what price range you're in too. You can't compare the whole market. You cannot compare the million plus market to 350 and below. You can't compare the single families to the condos. You can't compare the ranch or farm properties to the city dwellings. It's not the same. You're going to have differences. And what I am finding is that that dip is hitting my million plus, especially 3 million plus, much more than it's hitting anything that's 500 and below. 500 and below is still a ton of offers. If it's priced right, and this always goes for any pricing, if the house is overpriced, it's not going to sell. Now, I mean grossly overpriced. If it's a little over comps, that's where it's going to go anyway. It might go a little bit more than that over comps, but if it's grossly overpriced, somebody's trying to take advantage of the market, the buyers are going to walk away from it. Also, another thing to note is that there's a trend right now that this has happened before, but not to this extent, where all of a sudden the buyer's agents are paid by the seller, and the amount the buyer's agents get paid is put in the MLS. That's an offer to pay. A standard amount is 3%. Right now we're seeing some at 2.5%. That's not the end of the world. 2% is way too low. We do a lot of work and we have a lot of liability, and especially for the buyers right now, it is 5 times more work than it normally is. And now they're going to try to pay less. There are many agents that won't show those houses. So if you don't know as a consumer and your agent says, oh, well, I'll save you some money and we'll give them 1.5% or 2%, nobody's gonna show your house. That's a problem. So the bottom line is that the buyers who have been trying to get houses have that break. Took that break this summer, and we lost the winter visitors, so that's the 3 million plus, or even the million plus market. So that has softened just a little bit. When I say softened just a little bit, maybe instead of selling it with 2, 3, 4 offers in the first weekend, the million plus, 3 million plus has 2 offers the first weekend, or they have to wait 5 days to get a couple of offers. That's not a problem. And anything under even like 600,000, man, I am not seeing anybody really getting less than 5 offers on the first weekend, unless it's priced poorly. And in many cases, it's 6 to 10. If we were getting 13 to 15 offers and now you're getting 6 to 10, that's not a real softening. Last thing I want to say to you, you have to understand, if you're waiting to purchase, that you are foolish. There are a ton of people that did not buy last summer and fall, and I kept saying, this isn't going to change anytime soon. You buy a house and automatically you're starting to build equity. It's continuing to go up as this market goes up. And unfortunately, there were a handful of people that I had, not many, but a few, that decided to wait. Well, guess what? Now, you could have had a whole year's worth of equity, and this is not changing anytime soon. It's very possible. I have no crystal ball. It is very possible that you could be in the same boat next year if you don't buy now. In fact, I feel very strongly you'll be in the same boat next year if you don't buy now. And here's why. Because a seller's market, a strong seller's market, does not just crash and die in this kind of market. This isn't a bubble. What happens is that it does eventually start to level off. It does start to soften a bit, and when it starts to come down just a little bit, it becomes a normalized market. And it stays a normalized market for a while until it finally turns around, and it eventually will be a buyer's market. But we're talking years. So if you are looking to wait until the prices come down, you will have lost money because you will have gained a bunch of money in the meantime. And if it does come down, you probably end up still doing better than if you had waited. That's a lot of information, but it needed to be said. I had to get it off my chest because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I'm out there every day. I work with a lot of buyers and I work with a lot of sellers, and I have yet to have a buyer that I haven't found a house for. It could take us
2, 3 offers, but I know what to do. I know what to say. I know how to handle the other agents, and I know how to write a contract that will get my buyers offers accepted. I have beat out cash offers with my financed buyers. You just have to know how to work the market. I've been in real estate since 1998. I'm in my 23rd year, and I've been in all kinds of markets. I've been in all kinds of interest rates. I have weathered every storm, and I learn something new every day. I certainly don't know it all, but I know what I'm doing in my business to be able to protect my clients, to make sure that they have success in any market. If I can help you, I'd love the opportunity. I'm Jean Pomeroy with Realty One Group, 602-741-3897, or check out my website at azrealtymatch.com. Thanks for your time.